Yes, good evening. Before we start, I have a small question to you. How many students usually attend seminars in your subgroup? Or should we wait for someone? Can we start? Thanks. Let's wait a couple of minutes and then start.
Sorry, could I ask you one question, please?
Yes, yes.
I just wanted to prepare for our lesson, and I tried to open Jupyter Notebook, this app, and from Anaconda Navigator, I can't do it. I don't know why. And I did it from... В общем, я сделал это, по-быстрому объясню, с командной строки, просто с Windows. У меня открылось это приложение, черный экран. Я до этого никогда не сталкивался с этим, поэтому извиняюсь сразу. Вот. И ребята подсказали, что нужно скопировать ссылку, а у меня почему-то она не кликабельна вообще. То есть я пробовал через Ctrl-C, и по-всякому у меня не получается.
Смотрите, если совсем никак не работает, вот, можно использовать Google Colab. Вы пробовали его использовать?
Нет.
Ну, я покажу сейчас. Вот.
То есть просто хотел сказать, что много ребят, которые никогда не сталкивались, и для нас было даже проблема установить. Просто не все готовы, на всякий случай сказать.
Хорошо, спасибо большое.
Спасибо вам.
Okay, let's start. I'll share my screen. Okay, let's start. I'm glad to see you all today at the first seminar. As you can notice, the first seminar is before lectures, therefore we won't have any difficult like tasks and models. We will study basics of Python, some models, code, and so on. I want to start with information about the course. The course is organized as follows. You will have 6 seminars by me and 6 lectures by Boris Demyshev. Some information about grades and deadlines. You'll have 2 homeworks. Each has weight 10%. Deadline for the first homework is this date, and for the second homework, another one. You will have 2 DataCamp courses. You must complete it, and deadline for these courses is so you can find here. What else? Group project and final exam, which is scheduled on 29th of March. These elements give us 100%, but you can get more than 100 if you take optional DataCamp courses. For the first one, these DataCamp courses are not included into these courses. So it's like third, fourth, and so on course. For the first one, for the first optional course, you can get additional 4%. For the second optional course, 3%, and so on. See a question? No, it is, these courses are on DataCamp. I'll provide you instructions a bit later. And here you can see deadlines which are represented in a different format. So the first deadline is in 1 week. You should complete the first DataCamp course. To find a link to DataCamp courses homeworks, click on this link. I'll send you in the chat. And you can join a Telegram chat. There you can ask any questions you have about the course. For this class, you will need Anaconda or Jupyter Notebook, or if you have not installed Anaconda and Jupyter Notebook, you can use Google Colab. Just write Google Colab. The only thing you need to work on Google Colab is Google account. Just click create a new notebook. And you can type your code here. Sorry, I had a problem with this internet. Okay. What types of cells do we have in notebooks? There are two types of cells. We can write a code. For example, import some module, numpy. This is a code, or
we don't see your screen. Thank you.
Thanks. We have two types of cells. So the first one is a code cell. For example, import numpy or something else. You could use it as a calculator, or so it was the first type of cells. The second one is a markdown cell. To switch a type, you should select code or markdown on this panel. So I selected markdown, therefore I can write something and it will execute it as text, not as a code. If you work in Google Colab, you can choose the type here, just either code or text. About modules installation and import. We can import a module using different formats. We can type from module, for example, numpy, import some function. Let's import a function uniform from the module numpy random. This is just an example. And if you want to use a function uniform, you should write uniform and press Shift Enter. Uniform is a generator of uniform distribution from 0, 1. We can do the same. So as you can see, I repeat this style, but you can do the same slightly. So you can use just let's try import numpy as np random uniform. So we should change the cell type. And we get a random number from uniform distribution. We use different code, but get the same result. I mean the same object. It will produce different numbers because it is a random number generator from uniform distribution. Or we can import a function like this: import numpy random uniform Why do we need this one? It is just a short name of NumPy. We can, instead of this code, we can use import NumPy. NumPy is just some module in Python which contains a lot of usable functions for us. For example, now we generate a random number. So if we remove S and P, we should write NumPy here, not NP. So either NumPy as NP or NumPy here and NumPy here. Okay. Let's proceed. If you want to read the documentation of some function, you can use question mark, then NumPy, okay, NumPy random uniform. If you want to find information about this particular function, use question mark and press Shift Enter. You can find arguments, so we can add inside the function arguments low, for example 0, and high, for example 5, and size, the number of random numbers. Yes, NP and NumPy are the same. NP is just a short name of NumPy. And if you add size, we will obtain 10 random numbers. So you can do this for any function. If you don't have, if you have not installed any modules before, you need to install a module, for example, skTime. To install, write this code and execute. I have already installed all necessary modules in Anaconda, but I can show how can we install it in Google Colab. Just, for example, pip install NumPy. It depends. So if we use if you use Anaconda, you can install it just once and then use it without use only every time. You need to use import. So you need to import, use import. You need to include the import into your code, but installation, it's you need to install only once. Yes. And then I can use import NumPy and all functions I've already used in Jupyter Notebook. Random, random, normal. I can choose normal distribution. Import import a module and then and obtain some random number from a normal distribution. Okay, this part was about installation and import of modules and functions. Now let's work with some dataset from SKTime module. To import building datasets, we need to type SKTime datasets, import load airlines. We can either upload datasets from our computer or from the internet, or use built-in datasets. For example, the dataset which has a name Load Airlines. And to visualize it, we need to import the following function from the module SKTime utils plotting. We import plot series. Airline. Do you have any questions? Oh, everything is clear. Okay. To visualize, we need to assign this data set. We need to create a new object, a new variable, and set the value load airline. This object now contains data set load airline. To visualize, before we load, we can look at the data. Sorry. Example, we can see the first 6 observations or 7 observations and so on, or we can try for so you should change the name of the dataset to load airline. There was a typo. Not load airlines. Load airline is the right name. to get descriptive statistics, you can write series dot describe and brackets. And you'll get a number of observations, mean, standard deviation, minimum and maximum, and number, the value under which there are 25 observations below this this value. And now we can plot our data. We can plot our data. To plot, we will use this function, plot series. Sorry, plot series. Plot series, and inside we should put our data. Now I have a question to you. How do you think, is it a daily, monthly, quarterly, semi-annual or annual data? And how can we understand it? For example, we have a number of observations. Yes, you're right. It's monthly data. There are 144 observations and 12 years. So 12 years, each 12 months. So we get this number. The main goal of this course is for forecasting. For example, we can look at daily coronavirus cases in Russia. Sorry. And let's look at data in Moscow. We have the following data, but we need to forecast the next observation. How can we do it? We will study different methods in this course. But in this seminar, we will apply simple methods. So let's start with the first one. But before we start, we need to split our data into train and test. And why do we need to split it? Can someone tell me?
Maybe to estimate errors, which our forecasts will give.
Yes, you're close to the right answer. Yes, to check our model power and to choose the best model, basically. what do you mean by Dmitry? What do you mean by information about the code?
For example, you write import numpy and random and other. I don't know what does it mean.
Okay.
Maybe some literature or source you can provide us.
Okay, I understand the question now. So this example was about how we can import different modules. If you have any questions, you can find documentation in the internet or ask your question in Telegram chat. I think it will be enough because we have only 6 seminars. It's really a short course. In addition, I'll send this notebook after our seminar. Turn on hints. Okay. So I think it will be enough. Just repeat all notebooks, and if you have any questions, try to find it in the internet. If it will not be enough, just write in private messages or in Telegram chat. I will send you, or Boris Demishov will send you books or websites. Just this many examples. About hints. We can use tab to, for example, just a second. If you want to see information about the function, you need to press Shift tab. As for example, NumPy. Yes, Shift tab. Konstantin, yes, Konstantin. Did you ask? Was your question about documentation that we can just get? How can we get information about the function, or?
Okay, my question was about when we write in a function, for example, the program suggests us to fill it. For example, we write in PR and program suggests us, yes.
Press tab.
Okay, thank you. Let's create our first forecast. But before we do it, we need to split our data into train and test. On the train data, we will fit our model.
and on the test data forecast, and evaluate the quality of our forecasts on test data. So how forecasted values differ from real values. Forecasting model section temporal train test split. Then create new objects. So now we separate our time series to another time series. One is for train data and another one for test data. Oral train. Train split our time series and test size. Now we can plot, use the same function as before, and use new arguments, new time series, Y train, Y test, and we can add labels. For example, train and test. If we choose, so it's 2 months, we can choose 4. And the picture will look like this. Or no, just any number. But we know that data is, we have monthly data, therefore it's better to choose some number which is proportional to 12. For example, 24. Now let's apply a naive forecaster, and let's return to daily coronavirus cases. What if we need to forecast the next value? We can just say that tomorrow we will have the same number as today, and this is called naive forecaster. This code. Okay. Naive forecaster is the simplest model. We just say that the next value is previous value, YT. In Markdown cells, we can use LaTeX symbols and create formulas like in LaTeX. we usually do not forecast as our variable and head, and in our case it is just previous value. To implement it in Python, we need to import naive forecaster from skTime. skTime forecasting. Import naive forecaster. Let's create a new object, which is called naive forecaster. And apply it to our time series. To fit our model, what is the meaning of fit? Fit, it's like estimate, apply data, apply this model, this naive forecaster for our time series. We apply forecaster only for Y train, to train data, because we want to estimate our model parameters on this data and use the estimated parameters for the test data. Then we should choose specify a horizon. So let it be 24 days. So we will make our forecast for test period. And range. I create an area. I use, here I should import NumPy as NP. I've already done it before, but I'm not sure that you repeated this code as well. If you want to add comments into code cells, you can use sharp sign, a sharp mark, and then write your comment. Now I create an range from 1 to 25. Why? Because I want to obtain a forecast for each day, starting from this. So the first day in the test period, and so the length of this period is 24. So it's just now, it's just a container for our future, not a container. Yes, okay, it's similar to a container for our future forecast. So we say our model naive forecaster to create a forecast. We apply predict, and in the brackets we need to add our horizon. So we say how many forecasts we want to obtain. Okay, and now we can plot our forecast for 24 days. We had train, test, and our predicted values. And we need to add one more label. One. What did we get? This it is the simplest model in the world. Just take the last observation and use it for every day in your forecasting period. So we can say that it's not a good model. Let's use something else. For example, we can instead of previous observation, we can use the value 1 year before. Because so as you can see on this graph, there is a seasonality, and previous like 1 year before, the same month 1 year before can be a good approximation. So let's implement it. We can do it using the same naive forecaster, but with a little bit different options. Not options, are arguments. Just copy everything, and here we should add seasonality period, and in our case it is equal to 12. We work with monthly data. Yes. Oh, let's rename. For the same horizon, and let's create a plot. Now it looks much better. We repeat, as I've already said, we repeat like the same pattern, but it is closer to the true value, and it's much better than the first forecaster. Now let's try something complicated, not naive. For example, we can apply ETS models. Another name is exponential smoothing models. So if you want to read like find more information about it, you can click on the link and find the functional forms of ETS models. In ETS models, it is a short name for like abbreviation for error, trend, and seasonality. And for example, if we have AAA, then we should look for our model at this table, so additive error models, and find an intersection of the second and the third A. We have 3A, A, so this model. For M and A, for example, M, the first is the first letter is error, so M, multiplicative error, N, trend, E, and seasonality A. So this model. In our class, we will use AAA, ETS AAA, so this model. And let's apply it to our time series. This is more comprehensive one compared to naive forecaster. Forecasting ETS. Auto ETS. As you can see, this our code for different models differs from each other in this part. So we have the same part here, time forecasting, here naive, so our first two models, and now we have another class of models called ETS. Just change our code a little bit. Let's name it as okay. And here we should use, instead of naive forecaster, our new forecaster auto ETS. And inside, we should add our parameters, ETS, error, trend. We should specify what type of model we want to estimate. Seasonal add. This add means so does it mean that we add it? It means additive. If you want to use multiplicative errors, for example, we need to write muld instead of at. And seasonality period is 12, so we have monthly data. Okay, let's execute it and repeat the same steps as before, but change the name of a forecaster. Everything is the same. And it is enough to, yes, actually it is enough to create horizon just once. So, but I repeat it, okay. Forecaster, ETS, AA. Let's plot it. And it is better than the previous model. To see it, we can add. We can actually plot all our predicted values on the same graph. To do it, we need to create different predictions, assign it to different variables. And here, instead of ETS AA, use naive 1 and naive 2. And here, ypred 2, ypred 3, and naive 1 and naive 2. Predict, sorry. Okay. Forecaster. Yes. So on this picture, you can see forecast from 3 models. Naive 1, which is just constant. Naive 2, it's previous value 1 year before, and ETS model with additive error, trend, and seasonality. You will discuss in details theory, all of these equations on the lecture. Now we have practice, so we will not discuss it now. Now it's your turn. So you need to choose time series or ask. So if you want to make this task, you can ask any questions. But if you want, choose a time series. I can suggest 2 options. The first one, you can download information, financial data from Yandex or from Yahoo Finance. For example, if you want to download daily prices of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, and Apple, you can use this code. To download other stocks, just change tickers. Instead of Co, Pep, and AAPL, just choose appropriate ones. So for visualization, you can use the function plot series or matplotlib as an alternative. I'll send you now. We will discuss this module later on the next seminar, I guess. So here's just an example how you can use it. You cannot copy from Zoom. Oh, okay. I can send it in Telegram. Okay. Yes, we need to install all modules. So I used it before. Therefore, sorry, I didn't tell it, but so we need to install every module. To install, just type pip Yahoo Finance or pip install Yahoo Finance. Okay. I can do it in Google Colab. First, I install Yahoo Finance. Then I can download some. Why? I can download some data, and then I can visualize it. Here I choose. So if you look at the data prices, what do we have? We have adjusted close price for the stickers, close price, the highest price during the day, the lowest price, the price, open price, and volume. We need adjusted close price. Therefore, we choose a part of a segment of a data set. Adjusted close and ticker, for example, Coca-Cola. And surprise, surprise, we have a series, just one column. And we can visualize it. So it was for Coca-Cola. You can use we can choose Apple or just any other tickers. Or we can you can download the following dataset. This the data represents monthly anti-diabetic drug sales in Australia. So you can do the same as we did in our seminar. For example, visualize and repeat all steps. So if you have any questions, ask now. Do you want me to open a particular part of the code? Just example, this one. Huh?
Would you please show once again how to import stock prices from Yahoo Finance?
Yes.
Thank you.
Just one more comment to find. Okay. To find the ticker, just go to Yahoo Finance. And here, just type the name of company, for example, Biogen. Biogen, okay. And this company has the following ticker. So you can add it here. And download data for 4 companies. About plot these naive forecasts and ETS. Do you have this part of the code? Victor. Okay, could you share your screen? Or you cannot share the screen? Okay. Okay. Add labels for each prediction. So we need to the number of elements here and here so should coincide, should be the same. Yes, I'll send this notebook after our class. Yes. Of course, you can choose another starting date. Yes. We have 8 minutes. I can explain this part of the code. The last string should be a comment. It used to save this picture as test to png.png. So this one is to change the name of labels. Use PLT. PLT is a short name for this module, and inside this module we choose different functions or modules to visualize our data. So, example, we have Biogen instead of Coca-Cola, and okay, date is fine. This string we need to change a format of data. If I remove it, it's okay. But for some series, we can have format this milliseconds. Oh, like this. So here you have year, month, day, and then seconds and milliseconds. To remove it, we need to use this string. Actually, not to remove, but to set right format for dates. So this to change size of a picture, we need to set 2 arguments. Width and height. Okay. And the next, the main string of the code here is the function plot, and our series inside it, color of a series, width of a line and label. Okay. So that's it for today. I'm waiting for your questions. And how can I save the recording of this lesson? Um, Konstantin, what dates did you put here? The start and end. Okay. So it's not my Zoom account. It's banking institute account, and I think so all lessons are recorded. It's, you should have all recordings in some, I don't know where, but somewhere. So you will cover basics on the lectures. I guess the first one will be the next week, if I'm not mistaken. So it is the end of the first class. Thank you for attending it. The first deadline is in 1 week. You need to complete the first DataCamp course. See you next time. Good luck.